everybody, and welcome back to the Blu-ray Hunter. I'm the Blu-ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and I've got a fun show for you guys. We're gonna do another director's early works. This is a show I've been doing for a few episodes now, and decided to bring it back a little bit, and we're gonna be talking about the 1999 film Election, directed by Alexander Payne. And so I discovered Alexander Payne through this movie, actually, Election. I remember when it first came out on like VHS and DVD and whatnot. I definitely went out to the video store and rented it. I was a big Reese Witherspoon fan at that time. I think this was like right around or right was it Cruel Intentions? When did that come out? Because Reese Witherspoon had already kind of discovered. So it's about the time of like Cruel Intentions and stuff. So I was definitely checking out more movies with Reese Witherspoon in it, and this is definitely a different character for her to play, and one that sort of she became more iconic for, more so that like she even talks about in this documentary that she apparently uh apparently she thinks she lost jobs because like so many studio people saw this movie and thought she was really like that she was very much like a prude, so they wouldn't give her jobs because of that. I think that's really funny. um she lost wages because of it. It was an MTV Films movie, by the way. And MTV Films, if you don't know much about this, was a movie production studio that was done by Paramount, I believe, part of that world. And they would do more risque stuff than like what Paramount was like willing to do and stuff. So they did like movies like Dead Man on Campus, Cho's Apartment, was it Orange County, a few other films like that. And I used to love them. Like I wish they would come back. Like David Ellis, if you are watching this, which you're probably not, if you're watching this, bring that back if you can. Bring back MTV films and put these on like Paramount Plus. I don't know if they are or not, but I watched it on my, as I said, I watched it on this on my and that's usually what I do for Blu-ray Hunter. I make sure that a lot of the movies I watch are on physical media. And this is a Criterion, so I'll give you like the special edition stuff, like all the cool special features on it after. Uh, he did do this, but like, look, I mean, that was that was her. That's Tracy Flick, who is she is absolutely 100% the character and everything. Matthew Broderick did a wonderful job. Freaking Chris Klein. This was like right about the same time as American Pie. That movie put him on the map. Then they thought he could be like this big leading man star and gave him like Rollerball, and a few other films that just didn't didn't do the didn't do as well as he was as like they were hoping and whatnot. And he kind of fell off until I saw him in Just Friends, and right after on Just Friends, kind of he came back with a vengeance, and I still love Chris Klein. Um, there was who else? It was also there was a actress. Let me look it up real quick. There was an actress that was in it. Uh, was it Jessica? I think Jessica Mitchell. I'm gonna say is her name. Um, Jessica Campbell, who unfortunately died in 2020, by the way. Undisclosed things. I think it was like a flu-like thing that she died from. So, and I don't know whether or not it was, because undisclosed, I don't know if it was the C word or not, but it was like a flu-like, disease, sadly, that she died from. And that's just sad. Um, she could have come back out. I don't know if she was really doing much at that time period, but I think she had stepped away and she did a regular job, but she was in after election she was in a couple episodes of Freaks and Geeks, so around the same time. She was in The Safety of Objects. So she had done quite a few things, but then she just kind of went into her regular job and left the film world and whatnot, and that's kind of sad. She had potential to really do much more, but maybe that's not what she wanted. So I'm not, not my problem. It is on MGM Plus. It would have been great if it's on, Paramount Plus, but all right. Um, Next is Phil Reeves plays the Walt Hendricks, uh the principal, but he also plays that again in the movie Sideways, done by Alexander Payne. So I picked this as my Alexander Payne director's early works because there was, even though he had done other films, I think he had done like one other feature and a bunch of shorts and stuff before this one. But like this was the movie that I believe put him on the map. This is 1999. This was when he kind of blew up, and then he was able to do Sideways and About Schmidt and all these other great movies that he did. And I, you know, I mean, I don't follow him as much as I follow like some of the other people, but I like him better. Like some of the stuff, like I feel like he's a better version of like Wes Anderson. Like I feel like I'm not a big fan of Wes Anderson and never really was. I like Bottle Rocket and Rushmore, but then once the Royal Tenenbaums came around, I lost interest in the stuff that he did because I just always found it sort of pretentious. And I always find that Alexander Payne's movies could go that direction, but he does it in such a great, an interesting way that I think that Alexander Payne's my kind of director as opposed to like Wes Anderson, who a lot of people love. A lot of people love Wes Anderson. I ain't saying he's the bad director. I'm just saying the kind of like I will just say I hated with a passion The Life Aquatic, and a lot of people love that movie. Think it's the funniest thing ever made, and I would disagree with them, but like it's what I think is funny is going to be different than what you think is funny. You may not find this movie funny at all. I think it's hilarious. I think it's got so many great scenes in it. I love the fact that a lot of it is about uh, you know, what some people would do politically to get ahead, but in high school, like they're already training to be that person. And so by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, by the end of the movie, you sort of see Tracy as, she's working in politics. This is what she wanted to do. She's where she wants to be years later. And Matthew Broderick's still bitter about it. His character's still bitter about it, about the way that things went. And it's so funny because he like describes stuff about how in the movie how people have to face up to their consequences and everything like that, no matter what they do. And yet he didn't want to face up to the consequences for a while of the crap he was doing. Because he was doing things that he shouldn't be doing, and he should have known that there would be consequences to doing the stuff that he was doing. Because that's what he teaches. Sometimes you don't pay attention to what you teach, you just, do as I say, not as I do. Um, and so I felt like that was a big thing with this movie. Um, I honestly just really enjoyed it. I feel like Alexander Payne um, knew what he was doing for his, like one of his first films. There's not many first films that are this good, you know. Honestly, I'll even say like Bottle Rocket was not nearly as good as this movie. It was good, but this movie is so much better. Um, Rushmore was a better movie. That was a sophomore movie, you know. Um, and his movies afterwards have continued to be wonderful. Like he's a fantastic director. Um, I actually would like to just like sit down and watch some more of his movies back to back and just check them out. But I just we'll see if I ever have time for that. Um, but the movie itself for Election, I think is really is really interesting. I think that it's funny. I think a lot of stuff like all the human, connect is Holmes Osborne is in it, and he was from Donnie Darko. Well, later is in Donnie Darko, like a year later, and or two. He was 2001, I think it was, and and there he was as a actor who played a father. He also played a father in Bring It On. Um, I think honestly, he didn't really have a chance to really shine in this one like he did in Donnie Darko. I think Donnie Darko was the movie that really helped him out. That's also a really good director's early work. However, I've already covered that in like I think two or three things already. So yeah, I'm all Donnie Darko'd out. Probably not going to do that anytime soon. Um, but that movie is fantastic. Um, Dang, I could do Say Anything at some point because that's a director's early work. I you know I'm gonna be continuing with the series, by the way, and I'm trying to get up to 10 episodes next year and everything. So it's gonna be fun. Like I have some really fun ones to talk about. Um, but let's go back to this. Dang. Sorry. It's been a long day. I'm trying to find. So, yeah. So there was that. There was Phil Reeves. There was um Mark Herelick played Dave, and that was the guy that had an affair with Tracy. He was a teacher. He's been in stuff like he's been in Trumbo. He was in 42, Jurassic Park 3, freaking wonderful stuff. And then Delaney Driscoll, who played his wife, who um so weird, such a weird thing, like such almost like domino effect, like um Tracy and Dave have an affair, and then it gets caught and gets thing, and then that guy gets kicked out and divorced, and then uh she invites them over, the Matthew Broderick and his wife over to the house, to help her out and do stuff or whatever, and he falls for her, and then they get a divorce, So it's like a domino effect of like cheating and divorce and other things and whatnot, all because of her. And I think that was the big thing. I think that's why he was like, you know, Matthew Broderick blamed her for everything, but like literally, he can't blame her for everything. He did the things he did. Like he didn't never he didn't have to, you know, do that. Like he shouldn't have done that, like obviously, but he did, and he should be to blame for it. He was the one at the end that did, election fraud. Like he should be accountable for all the different things that he did because he thought he was and in the beginning of the movie he's talking about morals and ethics, and yet he's not moral and he's not ethical, and throughout the movie. And once again, don't do what you teach, or whatever. And so he's kind of that's a big theme, I guess, in it, is that he's a big teacher trying to teach everybody, but he can't even, practice what he preaches, and everything. And I like that. Like I like that because he's a flawed character. He's not this, guy who's gonna get the girl, and everything's gonna be fine throughout the whole movie. He has setbacks, he has issues, he has, you know, things that he's doing that he thinks he's doing the right thing at the time, and us, the audience, is going, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that? You shouldn't be doing that." And I thought that was really cool. Um, I hadn't seen this movie since it first came out, so I mean, I remember liking it a lot. You know, as an adult rewatching this movie, I mean, I don't know, was that, well, technically, 99, I was 17, so I was close to an adult. But like, I I think that I think that this movie would have been. I don't think this movie could have been done better. Like, I think this movie was really well done. I think that I like I is it perfect? No. There's little flaws to it. But in all honesty, I mean, there's hardly any movie that doesn't have any flaws to it. Or at least not to me. And and I'm usually kind of picky with things too. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was wonderfully done. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's an interesting movie. And for like a director's early works, like I said, it's fantastic. So here are the special features on the DVD or on the Blu-ray. So you can get this Blu-ray. I don't know if they do say it's a restored 4K digital transfer, so they could put it out on 4K at some point. Do I think it needs a 4K? Not really. I mean, would I just settle with just having this? Probably. But if I'm ever gonna like, fully um, upgrade my Criterion collection, I wouldn't mind upgrading it to 4K if it becomes a 4K. I don't see this happening anytime in the near future. It's number 904. So like I feel like there's 900 other ones that they should, or 800 other ones, before this that they should do. But let's see. It says new restore 4K digital transfer. Audio commentary from 1999 featuring Payne. I guess when they did the DVD or Laserdisc, I don't know if it was still a Laserdisc around. New interview with actor Reese Witherspoon. I saw that. That was pretty cute. The Passion of Martin Payne's 1990 UCLA thesis film. It's a new introduction by the director. Um, I also saw there was a little like text about it and stuff. That was pretty cool. Um, it was like 48 minutes, so it's a pretty long short, you know. Let's see. Tronside Election, a 2016 documentary featuring on-set footage and interviews with cast and crew. Omaha local news report of the film's production. So that's pretty cool. And trailer and um, every Criterion has this, which is pretty cool. So I want to see what this looks like. 'Cause I don't think I ever looked at it. But there's the there's a little thing where they talk about it and everything. And then on the back, you can see sort of a couple different things. So this stuff, I don't know. It's a cool little pamphlet, little booklet. Um, Tracy Flick for president. Sign up for tomorrow, today. Tracy Flick. So it's pretty cool. I don't know. It's a fun movie. I think Criterion did a wonderful job restoring it. It looked great. I did enjoy the storyline of it and everything. I enjoyed everything that sort of came along with the election, and I think it's a fun movie. I'd probably do this on Criterion Watch at some point, but it's probably not going to be for a few other seasons, especially since I just did this now. I'm not. I think I'm gonna wait a couple seasons before I do it on Criterion Watch, unless Paul picks it before then. Because I do feel like this would be a Paul flick. I liked it. I think it's you got to pick flick, you know, you got to pick flick. So I don't know. It's a cute little thing. It had some great moments to it, and I like Reese Witherspoon in it. It's a character that you'll never see her probably do again, unless they do. I don't think they'd ever do Election 2. That'd be silly. But I think, Tracy is a character that she just never will. She doesn't need to play again. She did a wonderful job in this, and I mean, I bought her as it. Like, it was absolutely wonderful. I love Martin. You know, I'm a huge Matthew Broderick fan, so it was really fun to rewatch him and her and Chris Klein and everybody. Just wonderful. I think if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Let me know what you guys think. If you have seen it, let me know. Do you guys like it? Is this a movie you watch, occasionally, or is this something that you don't watch? So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.